Today's video takes us back to the era of the Cold War. It seemed like Russia and the Western world were more fixated on inventing better and more technologically advanced ways to fight themselves, with each side frantically attempting to match or beat what the other had in terms of military might and power. It comes as no surprise that Russia set out to build this monster of a submarine. Some exciting facts sure are submerged in this episode, so watch to the end as we take a look at the biggest submarine ever built. Submarines by their nature are massive machines. Being termed the biggest in the world means that it's in a class of its own. Meet Dmitriy Donskoy, the world's most giant submarine with ginormous size and record-breaking amenities, accordingly huge. In perspective, this submarine is nearly as long as 2 American football fields and as high as a 9-storied building. Now that is what we call huge. This submarine belongs to the class Typhoon, so called by NATO, known by the Soviet designation Project 941, Akula meaning shark. This Typhoon class was intended to have 7 submarines. Still, 6 of these vast entities were completed. 2 are currently laid up and in reserve. 3 retired, while just one, the Dmitriy Donskoy, remains in service. The Russian Navy's Dmitriy Donskoy TK-208 continues to hold the record for the largest submarine in the world with its 48-ton submerged displacement. Comparatively, the US Navy's Ohio class displaces just 19,000 tons. It is a class of nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines designed and built by the Soviet Union for the Soviet Navy. It can stay submerged for up to 120 days, catering for a crew of 160. They are designed to last longer underwater should the need arise, as in a nuclear war. This city in the water measures 175 meters, nearly 600 feet, and 25 meters wide. The submarine has been commissioned since 1980, with a few periods of significant refurbishment in its history. It also has a 23-meter beam and a 12-meter draught. Dmitriy Donskoy was constructed with multiple pressure hulls, including 5 inner hulls located inside a superstructure of 2 main parallel hulls. The Typhoon class is more comprehensive than any other submarine ever built. It features 19 compartments, including a strengthened module, which houses the central control room, and an electronic equipment compartment above the main hulls and behind the missile launch tubes. Propulsion uses 2 OK-650 pressurized water nuclear reactors of 190 MWT each, along with 2 VV-type steam turbines, 102 MW each, and 2 shafts with 7-bladed shrouded screws. This submarine was built for war, and it features armaments that yell, "We ain't joking." This sub is undoubtedly not smiling in its readiness to engage enemies because submarines are well capable of launching massive ballistic missiles from anywhere in the world relatively covertly. Let's get a bit technical. The Typhoon class features 6 torpedo tubes designed to handle RPK-2 missiles or Type 53 torpedoes with its missiles armament. Their weapon system comprises 20 R-39 ballistic missiles with a maximum of 10 MIRV nuclear warheads each. SLBM stands for Submarine Launched Ballistic Missiles. Technically, Typhoons can deploy their long-range atomic missiles even while at docks, land, under or above water. These massive machines are set to give just anyone the time of their lives. Let's check out its physical structure and layout. Typhoon-class submarines are built with multiple pressure hulls. A pressure hull is an inner hull that maintains structural integrity with the difference between outside and inside pressure underwater. It is also built to withstand the outside pressure and has normal atmospheric pressure inside. The pressure hull is typically made of thick, high-strength steel, complex construction, and a significant strength reserve, and is divided into multiple compartments by watertight bulkheads. The Typhoon is capable of traveling at 52 kilometers per hour or 32 miles per hour underwater. This Typhoon submarine, much like most submarines, was essentially a killer loaded with nuclear warheads waiting to unleash mayhem on anyone who dares Russia. It sat through the Cold War, waiting to show its capabilities should the war become hot. Typhoons were built to sit under the Arctic Circle for long periods at a time, waiting to smack through the ice to launch their deadly payloads of nuclear-tipped missiles. Due to their extended stay underwater, some form of comfort and luxury was considered. The living quarters in a Typhoon were so grand that sailors in the Soviet Navy nicknamed these humongous vessels floating Hiltons. These accommodation areas include a bath, a pool, a sauna, a solarium, a gym, and a relaxation room with a winter garden. The collection can be filled with fresh water and also can be heated. It even had a zoo at some point, but the animals couldn't endure the submersion. An exhibition aboard the vessel is dedicated to the Battle of Kulikovo, the great victory won against the Mongols in 1380 by Dmitry Donskoy, whom the ship is named named after. Another feature considered a luxury in the Soviet Navy was televisions for watching shows, Soviet movies, and propaganda for the crew's pleasure. Here is a brief history of the Typhoons to give you a clearer picture of where this all began. The Typhoon class was created under Project 941 as the Russian Akula class was essentially built to carry massive armaments. At that time, no existing submarines could take the planed missiles and armaments, hence a new category had to accommodate them. The project was developed to match the submarine-launched ballistic missile, also known as SLBM armament, of Ohio-class submarines capable of carrying 192 nuclear warheads, 100 kilotons each, but with a significantly longer range. Soviet SLBMs were substantially bigger and heavier than their American counterparts, making them the heaviest SLBM in service worldwide. To accommodate this increase in capacity, the submarine had to be built to proportion and scaled accordingly. From the 7 that were planned, 6 Typhoon-class submarines were built, initially designated by hull numbers. Names were later assigned to all of the 4 vessels maintained by the Russian Navy, sponsored by a city or a company. An extra vessel's construction order was cancelled and never completed. Only Dmitriy Donskoy, the first of these submarines to be constructed, is still in active service with the Russian Navy, serving as a testing platform for the Bulava missile. In reserve are Archangelsk and Sevastopol, not currently engaged with the Russian fleet. All the R-39 missiles have been retired. Since 2010 through 2011, the Borei class has replaced the Typhoon-class submarines. A senior Navy official announced in late December 2008 that the 2 Typhoon-class submarines, TK-17 Archangelsk and TK-20 Sevastopol in reserve, would not be rearmed with the new Bulava SLBM missile system. They could undergo some possible modifications and be used to carry cruise missiles, lay mines, or used in special operations. Late in June of 2009, the Navy Commander-in-Chief, Admiral Vladimir Vysotsky, informed reporters that the 2 submarines would be reserved for future repairs and be renovated for modern standards and specifications. In May 2010, the Navy Commander-in-Chief again announced that Russia's Typhoon-class submarines would remain in service with the Navy until 2019. In September 2011, the Russian Defense Ministry decided to write off all Project 941 Akula nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines until 2014. Russia had to ultimately decommission the Typhoon-class subs due to the restrictions imposed on Russia by the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. Another reason was the successful trials of the new Borei-class submarines. The Borei-class submarines were constructed as replacements for many types of submarines. Even at that, they are slightly shorter than the Typhoon class. In terms of length, they are 560 feet as opposed to 175 meters. They are made to take a smaller crew of 107 people as opposed to 160 in the Typhoon. Several reasons necessitated these design tweaks, such as lessening the cost of building and maintaining the submarine. The United States and Canada provided about 80% of the funds for discarding the older Typhoon-class submarines, making it more economical and to construct a new sub. However, other sources in the Russian Defense Ministry claimed that no such decision has been taken and that the submarines would remain in the Russian Navy, even though the state-run RIA Novosti news agency claimed in 2013 that the Navy would phase down 2 Typhoons beginning in 2018, the TK-17 and the TK-20. However, as of 2017, the fate of the TK-17 and TK-20 was still unknown. Their size and what they contain make the Typhoons highly adaptable to multiple or different uses. This is seen in the early 1990s. There were also proposals to rebuild some of the Typhoon-class submarines and convert them to submarine cargo vessels for shipping oil, gas, and cargo under polar ice to Russia's far away from northern provinces. The subs could take up to 10,000 tons of cargo on board and ship it under the polar ice to several tankers waiting in the Barents Sea. After considerable engineering required developing technologies to transfer oil from drilling platforms to the submarines and waiting tankers, these ships would then deliver their cargo worldwide. As glorious as these subs were, the Dmitriy Donskoy leading the pack all these years, its glory days are gradually coming to an end as it's been replaced with more modern, though more miniature, Borei-class submarines. In 2021, it was revealed that the Dmitriy Donskoy would remain in service until at least 2026. This vessel indeed held its place as a leader for decades and still does. Who knows, it might as well go down in history as the only submarine with such specs. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section. Remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications for more exciting videos coming your way.